on Chick Smooth. My man Chick Smooth is in here. Chicks, I want to be on Chick Smooth shit tomorrow.
I
Oh,
I
okay.
did
Somebody else
I
was
did
talking.
what I did what all I did what all do when shit got tough. I kept fucking grinding. I kept all my employees employed. Nobody took a hit, even though we didn't know what was going to happen with the company when we lost a serious line of revenue. And you know what? For everybody who's just making this just a casual conversation on Clubhouse, I want to just say this: I'm not going to participate in a hit on Karen Civil. I'm going to make sure she's held accountable, but that's for Jason and Hollywood Unlocked and his employees, not for entertainment. And so while I appreciate that the conversation's happening, I want you to understand that this was a very, very difficult time in my career. I'm a person who started Hollywood Unlocked from Instagram. I'm a person, if you read my book, who got his shit out the mud, who everything was stacked against him, molest, shot, watched my brother get murdered, mother on drugs, abandoned, abused, all that shit, doubted. Niggas told me I would never do it, and I did it. And in the middle of my journey, my shit got stopped by this hack. And so I have to tell you, it's extremely personal. There were lots of conversations from my staff who thought they were going to lose their job because we lost a lot of money. And it wasn't her connecting me to get verified. While she tried to do that, it was Fadia, who was at Instagram, who walked up to me at the Rock Nation brunch, and she said, I'm aware about what happened to your page, and I want to make sure that we get it back online. I'm going to do everything I can to get your page back. She did, and she got us verified, and they started managing and protecting our account. And that's why we're partners at Instagram and Facebook today. And that's why we help to manage and support other people's accounts. We just got Wax page verified. We help people in the community and the culture who need to have that verification and that support on their account, so that way nobody can just take them down. There's other stuff happening online, but again, I'm not going to get into it on Clubhouse because I'm waiting to watch how all this story plays out, because everybody that knows me knows I keep a fucking receipt on everything.
Period.
And I'm watching it, and I'm watching it
That
play
way.
out. And you know what? They've painted
Oh,
every narrative of me, every narrative. When I was fat, I was this. When I lost weight, I had HIV. When I said I date younger, they say I'm a pedophile. When a nigga don't get on Love and Hip Hop with me, I'm a rapist. Everything they've said about me, I've let them say it, because you know what? I don't serve the gossip that ain't real about me. I serve God. And that's why I continue to fucking be successful. I have sat online all day and night watching this, that, and this play out, and everybody's saying all that they want to say. People that aren't in the conversation trying to join it by throwing this out and this out. And you know what? I only posted one post. I said Karen needs to go to jail for the violations that she admitted to violating the law, and she needs to run me my money. She owes me $300,000. That's what I've said. That's what I believe. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna bash her. I'm not gonna say Karen's never did good. She's done a lot of great. She's done a lot of good stuff for her country. She's done a lot of good stuff for the culture. She has done a lot of good things. But she did some really fucked up shit.
Period.
And yesterday was a breath of fresh air because I felt vindicated. She took responsibility publicly. It doesn't make it okay, but she owned that shit. And she's not the only person in the culture that has fucked me over, but she's the one who fucked me over the most. She's the person in my entire career. I can say I've never been hurt by anybody for anything, but that hurt me because I had to have hard conversations with my staff. And I never, ever, as much as I've told stories, you have to understand something. All this happened because I ran a story that somebody said she stole money, and because I refused to take it off my site. It does it, so like I just don't want to I don't want to come in here and spend all day, hours and hours and hours fighting with anybody and explain. I'm not going to explain what I went through because I went through it, not nobody up here but me and my staff. So I do want to say thank you for having the conversation. Please say whatever you want. And anybody that wants to come in here and say, Jason's this, but he did this to Megan Thee Stallion, and he said that to Nicki Minaj, and he wrote this about T.I., and he said this, and he's bad for the culture. You can have all those opinions. For some of you, it may be true. For some of you may say, well, he interviewed Khalees, and she gave him he gave her the platform to share how Nas used to beat her. You can say all of that. It's all true. But what you cannot say is that your feelings about what I went through were more important than mine. That is all I'm saying from Jason Lee and Hollywood Unlocked. I don't have nothing else to say. I love everybody in here, whether you love me or hate me, and I appreciate that you're having the conversation. Please keep having it. Thank you.
Do. And even when it comes to Jason, me and Jason had an off conversation. I assumed everything with us was fine because we've seen each other in public. But then when now he has the issues with all these other bloggers who I'm not gonna name, I don't know if he think I formed Voltron with them and I'm a part of it. So now I'm a part of his hate train and blah 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 and everything else and and XYZ. This is nothing Jason didn't already know. Like now again, we've talked about it. He hit me when he wanted to go to Nip's funeral. I made sure he was taken care of because out of respect, we may not have a cordial relationship with one another. He's still media. He still deserves to be there. So then now it turns into I hate Karen. I'm doing this long thing and blah blah blah. And for anybody who got pencil and paper to write this down, you never fixed my credit, baby. The person who actually fixed my credit and who got me right and who's taking care of me is Sean Scales. That's one of the best credit companies I've ever used. It's not a scam. It's not a anything. When I say Sean is so freaking amazing, he has me sitting at 805 right now. Like, and this is like, make sure you pay your stuff on time. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. It's not, it's, it's Araz, ORYZON credit.com. And his name is Sean Scales. It's not like, let me remove this off of your credit for this or that. It's no, this is how you build it. Get this credit card, do this, pay it this way, do it that way. But I'm not letting people take credit for things in my life that they didn't have, that um they had no inkling or part of. The closest thing Jason said, yeah, we were quote unquote neighbors. We lived in the same building at the same time. You know, I'm a continuously wish Jason well. If he's talking this lawsuit, this I'm sending Karen to jail. Okay, we'll see how that happens. We'll see how that happens because a bitch looks good in orange regardless. So that's one of my favorite colors. And I doubt that's ever going to happen. You've had your time the same way as what I don't like about social media is people wait till somebody has a problem with you and then they want to add to it. That was it for me.
I just want to know. I don't know if you were in the room when Jason said this, but when you hired someone to hack his account or hack his page, he claims that he lost about $300,000 in revenue because of it. So I just want to know, were you aware of the revenue that he claims he lost during that time?
No, because his page was never hacked. The gentleman never went through with it and never did it.
Yo, and can I say something about that real quick? If
Mm-hmm.
Jason, if
Well, no,
Jason want
no,
to,
no, no. Wait. 1 second. Let me finish. I'm sorry if I'm a little slow with answering because I like to look at the person I'm talking to, like I'm having a direct conversation.
It's me,
Um,
Laban King, at the bottom.
wait, you said Lathan?
Yeah, with the pink hat on.
Oh, okay, Laban. There we
Yeah,
go.
Laban.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah, Laban. His pages weren't removed. They were still there. Nothing was ever removed or anything to that nature. Yes, I reached out to this particular. Yes, I reached out to this particular person. Let's be. I'm gonna be transparent for people who are not in this, who are in this business, but know certain things. Like Jason know how he moved. Jason know how I moved. I like when you're working with certain people with certain things, it's just like I'm not going to be here and say, oh, I'm perfect, I'm this and I'm that. When he came in here, I owned it, but his pages weren't removed. So he didn't lose 300K from me. He didn't lose 300K in business because his pages weren't removed.
It's important for you
But
to clear that up because that's not what it sounded like yesterday. It sounded as though you sort of went through with it. So it's important
no,
that you clear
no,
that up.
I said no, and no. I answered him because I wasn't gonna lie about it at all. I'm like, yeah, nah, I wanted it. I wanted it to be that. I wanted it to be that, but his pages were never removed.
So can
He's still thriving and he's still doing well. Your pages can't be removed, and then you still have, I think, what he has like 5, 6 million followers. Your pages were never removed. Yes, I wanted it to be removed and put in a request, but it was never removed. What were you gonna say, Joe?
I don't remember that.
But you referenced the Olivia Pope when speaking on that matter. So where did that reference come from about your
Okay.
hands being dirty?
So you have to think from an aspect when you work with talent, right? This goes for PR, marketing. When they do bullshit, you always have to clean up their bullshit. So when people give me this title, they be like, "Oh, you're the Olivia Pope of this." I said, "That's not a good thing, because you know what that turns me into? That turns me into the fucking cleanup woman." So if, God forbid, somebody, a talent gets into a fight and there's a camera there, I have to make sure I would get all the cameras. It's nobody sees it. It doesn't paint you in a bad light. That's really literally legitimately what it is. It's like you always, it feels like you're a cleanup person, or you deal with crisis management, or it's just like I got to be the one to always fucking fix it. You always have to be proactive in fixing things that are happening with different clients.